All right, hey there, guys. Welcome to IEEE UCF's Officer Information Session. Basically, through this video, we're going to be talking to you about the future hierarchy for IEEE going into the next year. We're going to be discussing with you the various officer positions and then telling you what each of those entails, the responsibilities, and etc. So, first of all, let me start off by introducing myself. I am Alex Parody. I am the chair for our IEEE UCF currently, and we've basically done a pretty big overhaul for the system, and we want this video to be a good benchmark for you guys to understand what the expectations are for officers of IEEE and have this be a good baseline for the future when it comes to organizing this system. So let's get into it. Let's start talking about these expectations we have. So more or less, any and all of the officers should be outstanding role models from this organization. It really is the best of the best for what we can offer. It's people that are leaders who are able to inspire others. It's the people that are able to put in diligent work and time management skills. Obviously, we want some innovative thinkers on this, the people that can come up with ideas, events, strategies that we haven't used in the past, and that keep the organization growing and improving constantly. Obviously, we want anyone that is running for these to have a very professional demeanor and be able to carry themselves very well. And we do have a requirement for good academic standing if you're in one of the 4 primary position officers. That is a 2.5 minimum GPA in order to hold those positions, as well as a minimum of 6 credit hours that you will be taking throughout your tenure. And this is a really good way to make a bigger impact on the community as a whole in UCF, and obviously especially in our community through IEEE UCF. And in the end, these are the best of what IEEE UCF can offer. The people that are holding these 10 positions are basically our best, and we're trying to make the people from IEEE the best in the microcosm of UCF, so we're making it the best of the best. So this is the general hierarchy that we will be housing this next year. This is not all of the positions we have, but basically we want to highlight the top 10 here, and that will be what we'll be going over in this meeting, in this video, and who we will be electing as a general body. So the 4 primary positions we have are the chair position. Again, that is the role that I am holding. Then we have vice chair, which is basically the right hand officer to the chair. We have our treasurer and our secretary. Then we have our committee chairs. So basically that is our project chair, our service chair, professional development chair, and our social chair. And then additionally to those, we also have a marketing director and a webmaster. And then from these, again, there's the subsidiary teams down here, like the podcast team, the various committees, and app development team. And these could also be extended on further as well. But again, we're going to focus on the top 10 here. And with that, let's get into the position descriptions. So starting off, we'll be going into my position, what the chair does and what it's all about. So basically, overseeing all the operations of IEEE UCF. Through the chair, basically everything kind of comes out of that. It's creating this vision for the entire organization for the full year that this person is in office. Basically setting the goals and standards for that year and trying to make sure that it comes to fruition. And if plans change, then you make changes accordingly. And I think one of the most important parts of this position is really being able to delegate that immense responsibility that is on this one person to these subsidiary positions, and it kind of goes throughout the hierarchy that we're building here. And again, it really is this position that we are, everything's kind of flowing through them. This person is should be basically the best of what this organization can provide. The chair is also a voting member of the Orlando Section Executive Council. This is basically the portion of IEEE that produces our funding. They do events throughout the region. There are delegation to Region 3, which is the national part of IEEE that we are under. And again, they make a lot of important decisions, and the chair has a voting right on that committee. The chair also chairs the GBMs, obviously, aids in basically every part of the organization, And to sum it all up, the chair is wearing many hats within this organization and touches basically every part of it. So building off of that momentum, we have the vice chair. This is currently held by Juan. This is basically the right-hand officer to the chair, extending all of the same responsibilities and administering the chapter operations. Again, this is very much so an extension of what the chair does. One of the things that is somewhat unique to this position is that this is the position that leads the podcast team, basically recruits and guides that team throughout the year that all of those positions are in place. One of the important roles for the vice chair is also establishing weekly check-ins with the committee chairs in order to, again, facilitate what the mission of IEEE is with each of those committees and make sure that throughout the weeds, everything is getting done. And if they're not, again, adjusting accordingly. And this is also the position that should be actively looking to expand on the opportunities that we bring for IEEE and always trying to expand what we are offering our members. All right, next we have our secretary. Muhammad is currently serving as our interim secretary for this year. He's holding this position as well as our marketing director position, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Basically, this is the primary contact for external and internal communications through both in-person contact, through our email systems, and through carrier pigeon, smoke signal, etc. And this is basically responsible for maintaining all of the inboxes, any bit of information that's going out, making sure that it is coordinated and it is responded to, and that everything is checked off. The secretary constructs our bi-weekly newsletters that inform our members about what's going on within IEEE. They document the executive meeting minutes, making sure we have that all established, and they try to establish collaborations with other RSOs throughout UCF or other organizations within the Orlando community. Basically, the secretary is, to sum it up, the voice of IEEE UCF. All right, so our treasurer, this is currently a position held by Shauna. This position oversees all of the financial responsibilities of IEEE. The infrastructure that we have in place through our constitution requires that the chair and treasurer kind of check one another on expenditures and are making sure that there's no abuse of power when it comes to the finances. But the treasurer more or less establishes our annual budget and tries to make sure that everything that is on there is accomplished and gets accurate attention, and that if we are seeking out added opportunities, that we have the proper infrastructure in place for them. This position leads the fundraising and sponsorship efforts and organizes the general plan of attack for expanding our influx of funds. Again, this is going to be a very important thing as we try to continue to grow and trying to get this added funding for the organization. So this is definitely a very big and integral role. Really, without proper attention to the treasury spot of IEEE, the organization doesn't run. So they assist in any of the purchases for events and projects. Basically, all of that goes through the treasurer. They create presentations for funding grants from SGA, IEEE USA, and we're looking for some from the Office of Undergraduate Research now, and wherever really opportunities are present, the treasurer would go through and do presentations for those. One part that's not on here, the treasurer is also a position that we wanted, so that this position is finding opportunities for scholarships and other opportunities for the members and presenting those to you guys as well. And again, also actively seeking out new avenues of funding for the organization to keep us continuing to do great things. All right, so now we're going to get to the committee chairs. We're going to start off with our project chair. Taylor Barnes is currently in this position. Basically, this is honestly one of the most important ones in the organization, as our fundamental pillar for IEEE is our technology. It is our projects. It's our workshops. and everything else kind of stems from that and is able to build upon what we're able to do through our technical side. So basically what this oversees is all of the projects and the workshops through the project committee. The project chair is basically meant to conduct weekly check-ins with project leads to make sure that everything is on schedule, milestones are being reached, timelines are adjusted if needed, etc. The project chair is also constantly seeking out new project ideas from our members and also actively trying to seek out new ones for workshops and projects uh, on their own accord. Again, establishes timelines to be fulfilled by the various projects as well as workshops, etc. The project chair works with the treasurer and the leads to create realistic budgets, and then again adjust for them if they are either if there's parts of them that change or if other uh, things need to be revisited in them. The project chair is also supposed to make sure that we are creating varied opportunity for our members, including beginner-friendly experience and research-based endeavors. And this could be flipped around in whatever way possible. Again, like beginner-friendly workshops, beginner projects, expert-level workshops for those members that are perhaps more graduate level or senior level in standing. And we're trying to, again, expand on all three of these moving forward. So for each of these positions, I'm also going to give some recommended committee roles for kind of some of the fundamental building blocks for what the committee should hold. And this doesn't necessarily have to be followed, that if somebody is one of these positions, they have to be in those. It's pretty flexible in that extent, in that whoever the chair is can edit and maneuver around responsibility in whatever way they see fit. So the roles that we recommend for the project chair include our software director, which is currently a full officer position that's now going to be under the project chair's committee, the hardware director, a workshop coordinator, and a research lead. So now moving on, we have our service chair. Natalia is currently holding this position. This is actually one that we rolled out in the middle of this semester in order to focus on our community outreach and our service endeavors. It's been pretty successful so far, so we want to expand on that and make a full committee for it in the next year. Basically, the main things that we have set out for in our service side right now is our Orlando restoration effort that we conduct along with Keep Orlando Beautiful and Global Engineering Brigades. This is basically where we do all of our cleanups out in the nature area, as well as in the actual Orlando region. So that's one of our big things that we do. It's also going to include our Future Electrical Nights initiative, in which we will be trying to bring technical workshops as well as speakers to lower schools in the surrounding community to get the future generation of electrical and computer engineers excited to do engineering. Again, we have some really cool ideas for this, more to come on this next year. And also, we are going to be focusing on trying to make a diversity and inclusion initiative through this committee as well, that's constantly seeking out bringing opportunity and involvement to those that feel like they've been left out in this conversation. We want to make sure that we are equally representing as many people as possible. We do a lot of our efforts through the Office of Diversity and Inclusion currently, but again, we want to continue to build on this throughout the future of IEEE. The service committee also tries to find new service opportunities for IEEE that could really come in many different shapes and sizes. So there's a lot that we could do there and a lot that we could expand on. One of the things as well is that this committee would work with Ada Kappa Nu on our tutoring infrastructure and education, basically an education side to the organization, and that we'll be trying to improve upon getting assistance to engineers that are further along in coursework that aren't solely just in linear circuits, and that we can create an infrastructure of like-minded engineers that can help one another. Some of the committee roles we recommend for this position are a nature restoration lead, a future electrical nights lead, our opportunities lead, and an education lead. So the next position we have here is our professional development chair. Carlos is currently the inaugural member for this position as well. This position heads the professional development committee. The core goal is to prepare our members for a future career in the engineering industry and make the members of IEEE stand out in the field and be able to, again, have this extra oomph from the professional side as well as from the technical side. This position and committee organizes our conference appearances for our members. So this includes Southeast Con, which is the IEEE Region 3 event that we go to each year, as well as various other conferences, especially now that they're coming back to being in person, and we have research and other presentations that we would love to share with the community. That will be a really important part that we'll be expanding on as we return to normalcy in the next years here. This position also facilitates industry tours and events with various corporations in the electrical and general engineering community. So yeah, we're trying to build off of what we and IEEE PES have done in the past in industry tours, as well as CCS has done some. So now that we're again moving back to in person, this is going to be a pretty crucial part, and we would love to get more industry involved with our members and get you guys more connections in the industry. Again, this position will also lead resume, interview, and profile workshops to improve what these recruiters see at face value, and again, be able to present yourself better to these recruiters and companies. Some committee roles we recommend for the Pro Dev board are a resume and profile lead, a mock interview lead, an industry coordinator, and a conference lead. Excuse me. So the next position that we have here is our social chair. So this position is actually one that is currently deemed our event coordinator. We are changing it to be the social chair in order to build, again, a committee around this position. Lance is currently the member of the officers that is holding this position. Basically, this will be leading. And again, this is kind of being expanded a lot for the future here. We have some really big ideas that are beyond even what's on this page, but some of the ones that we have in mind. So organizing social events outside of the GBMs, tailgates is something that we really do want to try to do, and again, give you guys a little bit of a fun and family building aspect outside of kind of just solely technical meetings and stuff like that. We also want to try to do some cookouts and more beach days moving ahead. And again, hopefully we can do these really cool things and not limit capacity due to COVID. So fingers crossed, we really want to try to build on some of those. This committee is also going to create intramural teams and be able to have our members compete with one another against other organizations and other teams in various sports. So that will be a lot of fun to start using and building from. And we're definitely going to make those co-ed as well. So we'll be having like interest forms and stuff for that moving ahead. Again, this is a position that's going to work with the secretary in order to establish collaborative events with other organizations. Again, that's not even limited to just UCF. That could be around the Orlando area. And we also want this committee to focus on our transient to steady state mentor program. That's the current name we're running with for our program that we want for some of our later on members to be able to bestow some knowledge and experience on to our younger members that are just coming into the college and the university. And we want to be able to build up the next generation of both engineers and IEEE members. So that's a big thing we're trying to build off of. And again, the overall kind of mission that the social chair and committee house is building a tight bond within the IEEE family. Some roles that we recommend for this position: IM chair, event coordinator, a historian position, and mentorship organizer. All right, so that was the end of the committee chairs that we have. Now we're moving on to our webmaster role. Currently, Andre is in this position. He and whoever focuses on this role, designs and maintains the website operations. That is our URL right there, IEEE.ccsucf.edu. Basically, whoever is running for this, we recommend that you are either skilled in WordPress or another web development skill set, or that you have the time and you are committed to trying to learn how to use one of them. We've had people that have come into this position in the past and hadn't had the experience and then decided to not really go too far with it. So we want to make sure that if you're coming into this role, that you understand what the commitment is and that you are willing to, again, either learn to live up to it, or that you can come in immediately and be ready to roll and do a lot of cool things with the website. And to kind of build off of that, so this really, the website for the Webmaster is more or less a free canvas for whoever's in this role. It is your ability to express whatever cool graphics or cool ideas, mindsets, etc. you want to see on the website. Again, we're trying to build the optics of it year over year here and constantly be improving on it. I think even though Andre's made a lot of amazing improvements on it this year, there's still so much more this can go to. And I think that each year, if we're constantly building on it and constantly keeping it updated, it's going to be really good. It's going to show uh, us to the world as being a really kick-ass organization. One final thing as well is the Webmaster has the ability to oversee the app development team for IEEE. This is something that we do want to try to do at some point, is build a team that would develop the IEEE UCF app, especially now that we are expanding to such extents. We think it could be very useful, and we could, again, have various features for it, especially now that we are using app development in various projects as well. This could be a very valuable portion of the organization to have. All right, so now we're going to look at our marketing director. As I said when we were talking about the secretary position, Muhammad is currently in this role. This is basically the position that is looking to expand our impact and influence throughout the UCF community and let as many people as possible know about all the opportunities that we offer here. The marketing director focuses a lot on maintaining our social media platforms and, again, is constantly doing outreach through them. They develop an artistic direction and graphics and can establish a visual arts team. That team, if we decide to ever to build that, could be made up of not just engineers, but could be made up of members throughout the different colleges throughout the university. IEEE, is built to be as diverse as possible. So we want to open opportunities and open doors for as many people throughout campus as we can. Again, one of the other important things that the marketing director focuses on is creating detailed flyers for our events that is able to both inspire and inform what we have going on for our members. All right, so that's all of the positions that we have. That's all 10 of them. I really appreciate you guys for listening to what we kind of ran through there. Let's hit some final points here, and then we'll tell you guys some next steps. So if you guys have any questions on this, feel free to reach out to us in one of several ways. We still, in theory, use our Slack, but reach out to us on our Gmail. We're about to get our new email domain from the university. This is going to be IEEE@ucf.edu. And of course, join our Discord. That's really where we're going to be having a lot of our general conversations, as well as where we'll be sharing with you firsthand what is coming up for IEEE. If you are interested in being an officer for this year, please feel free to apply. We are releasing the interest form this Monday, March 22nd. This, again, for the 2021 year. If you do fill out this form, you will be put onto the ballot after we reach out to you and, again, confirm with you that you are interested in this role and express to you some of just the general rundown of what the role entails. We do want to emphasize that no matter what your class standing is, you can run for a position, except unless you're graduating, of course. But if you're a freshman, we welcome you to apply. And if you have a platform and direction that the membership body sees as inspiring and impactful, then you have a chance to win one of these positions. I think, again, there's really a lot of potential with anyone that applies for these. When I was running last year, I didn't necessarily know if I would be ready for the position of chair, but it worked out well, and I planned a lot for it. So I think the same could be done with any of you guys. You guys could come in here, and if you just think and take this very seriously, then you definitely have a chance to be able to win enough votes to get one of these positions. And don't feel bad either if you don't win one of them. We also, again, we're going to be having a lot of appointed positions. This includes our Knights Women's Circuit team, our committee members, and a bunch more positions that will be rolling out. And this will be selected throughout the summer and throughout the incoming year, especially if we realize that we need more positions for something somewhere. We will be continuing to roll out more of them. And this is a great way to get as many of you guys involved as possible and to have a dedicated role on your resume as well as a role within our community. So one final note on what the elections this year are going to entail. So we will be holding our elections on April 1st at 6 p.m. During our GBM. Basically, through this time, you'll have the chance to give a 1-minute speech to the general body. If you're unable to attend that meeting, then we will establish you'll send in a 1-minute video to one of us that we will present on your behalf. And again, we'll just be doing these 1-minute speeches. And then from there, our members will be able to vote over the next 3 days following. And then we'll be posting those onto YouTube as well so that people that were unable to attend the GBM have a chance to vote. And again, one final note, if you are not a member prior to April, then we will strike any vote that you do put onto the election, as we don't want random people coming in and flooding the election with more or less fake votes at that point. So with that being said, again, I really appreciate you guys watching this and being able to know what all the positions that we have in place are, what we have moving ahead. I think we've really come a long way this year with the different changes we've made, and there's a lot of opportunity here for you guys and for anybody in the organization. Once again, if you have any questions, please reach out to us, and have a great rest of your night, and see you at the GBM. All right, see you guys.